Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am CGOD, back with you guys today on the 2008 Ultra Classic build. So basically, we've got the bike's torn apart, right? Now, if you watched the previous video, you would see the teardown, you know what I mean? It was like a regular Ultra Classic right before this. So, we're going to go ahead. I want to start today off. It's the same night as the previous video. I'm just, making the intro to the next video. But I want to change over, you know what I mean, these little sprockets and stuff, the little cush drive, whatever you want to call it. So, in doing that, basically we're just going to remove the bolts. You're not supposed to reuse the bolts, but I'm going to reuse the bolts because y'all know how it is. So, I'm going to use, though, however, some of this, let me see if I can even find it. It's like a blue Loctite of some sort. This one here. So this Loctite 242 is medium strength, right? Just in case we need to remove these items again later. But you want to use some sort of Loctite because it's a Harley with a 96-inch V-twin engine, boys. So it's going to vibrate, you know what I mean? It's going to rock and roll. It's going to do everything that you want it to do and more, all right? So we're going to want to Loctite our bolts because, especially if it's, you know what I mean, a major component of the bike, definitely want to Loctite it. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these and as well as the brake caliper, or brake rotor, sorry about that, because I only got front rotors because y'all know how it is. I'm going to go ahead and swap it over to our new 16-inch 40 spoke, and I'll bring y'all right back. Alright, y'all know what it is. We done got it all swapped over. We got that side, this side, gotta have that rotor. I plan to go ahead and try to throw it in the bike already, you know what I mean? This would basically be like my first time, even doing a rear wheel, but it's pretty easy. Just got a couple of spacers, you know what I mean, and then you throw the axle through it, and obviously, the brake caliper and stuff. Whenever you have the brakes not on the rotors, you definitely don't want to hit the pedals or the hand lever, for the front, because then it's going to compress your brake caliper cylinders, and you know what I mean, then it's just going to make an emission for you. But basically, I plan to install it the same way that I removed this one, kind of just slip it under, and then once it's up in position, then I'll install the caliper and the spacers, you know what I mean, and then I'll kind of hold it there while I insert the axle, you know what I mean. So, and then at that point, I'll bring you guys back, baby. So we finna be on spokes and white walls, baby. Stay tuned, baby. So for the first time installing the rear wheel, it's really not too bad. I did go ahead and mark, so you can see on here, maybe, there's two marks that I made with a Sharpie, here and here. So that's basically gonna align us with our swing arm. Let me go ahead and see about knocking this the rest of the way through here. So basically, you know what I mean, I wonder if I'd be able to turn it by hand. Oh yeah, easy money, because we're gonna have to see, just make sure you use a dead below so you don't mess anything up. But there you go. After we get that put into place, our washer goes on, and it only goes on one way, you know what I mean. So from there, you'll see we have to just rotate it this direction, you know what I mean. I went ahead and on these little spacers, you see how there's two little rings on them. I put them inwards because there's less space on the inner side, you know what I mean? That way it doesn't run on the inner race of the bearing so much. But other than that, the caliper itself kind of like butts up against this part here. So, you know what I mean? It's pretty self-explanatory putting it back on. Can go ahead and even run our nut back on a little bit. We are going to have to rotate our entire assembly here. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and get probably a big crescent wrench, right? So we'll go ahead and come over here and just grab like the biggest crescent wrench we got. You know what I mean? Open it up all bad and whatnot. And that, like I said, is going to allow us to hopefully rotate enough. But it's looking like I might have messed up. So currently we're hitting against this back part right here. So I'm going to have to go ahead and kind of back this all off and rotate it. Yeah, because we're sitting on it now. So I'm going to go ahead and back this up, rotate it, and we'll put it back exactly to where it was before we started messing with it. And we should have our 40-spoke wheel on now, boys. There it is. And there you have it. The rear wheel is now installed. So as you can see, oh, hell. That bad boy came down fast as heck, huh? That's why you shouldn't work on your bike and drink alcohol, eh? So, one thing I will say, the rear axle, we did have to adjust it, being as how, like, you see how we got a decent amount of play here, right? Well, you could see we've tightened it up, actually, you know what I mean? We've moved it a good bit more. So, being that it's going to be lowered, you know what I mean, most of the time, I set it because you're only supposed to have, I think it was like 5/16 of an inch or something of play, you know what I mean? But all the way down right here, without suspension, this is actually lower than it's ever going to be, you know what I mean? So that's why it's a little bit loose, but, you know what I mean? It's not terribly loose, but as you lower it, it gets more loose, right? So I have it set up right now to where, like, I set the deflection or whatever whenever it was raised up. So, you know, it should be alright. Either way, you know, it should be better than it was or whatever. But there's our rear wheel fully installed. Whenever I first set it up and I put it on the same marks from where it originally was, the belt was like crazy loose, you know, and that's not cool. You know what I mean? Obviously, it was at stock height before whenever the tension was set on the belt. So, you know, that's part of the reason. But either way, here she is, slammed down on the 1640 spoke. Puro chrome, you know what I mean? It does turn and everything like that. So everything works as it should, I believe, I hope. But that's going to be it for right now. Other than that, we're probably going to have to start, you know, doing the suspension and whatnot. But, you know what I mean? The rear wheel install is basically done. So, yee.